Good evening. My name is Ben Winters, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the survey team. We've all heard a lot of good ideas tonight, and all the ideas require people communicating, coordinating, and then executing. So if the theme is imagine, I would ask you to imagine a way that we could all connect to one another more easily and build community more effectively. Imagine if we could communicate with prospective new members the way they want to be communicated with. What I want to talk to you about tonight is an idea. It's a product, really. It's called The City. I've got 3 to 5 minutes, so I'll give you the website there. It's a wealth of information on that website, lots of video, question and answer, that will answer most of your questions, if not all. Before I tell you about The City, I want to tell you how we got there and the reason for it. The survey team, like some of the others have mentioned, where we had to kind of feel ourselves out, figure out what was our objective, what are we here to accomplish, and we realized that the major goal was to engage members of the church and visitors. And so we started asking ourselves questions like, how can the church better serve its members? How can we better serve each other? How can we match members to ministries like the ones you see up here on either side of me, and then vice versa? And a big part of that, as you may know or guess, is gathering information and then be able to do something effective with it. And that's where we found was a little bit of a stumbling block. So we quickly agreed, after some good discussion, that traditional survey methods probably were not going to be our answer. Things like emails, things like SurveyMonkey and stuff like that, survey websites that you might be familiar with, or just pen and paper, with the exception of the survey we'd love for you to complete tonight. The reason we think these are ineffective is because they've largely lost their meaning. Email is used way too often. I think we would probably all agree in the room that we get more than we can keep up with on a daily basis. So the one additional email that we're not going to send you, but if we did, would become even less urgent. Email, traditional survey methods it's very difficult to create a call to action. And that's a problem. And it's just, quite frankly, probably not the most relevant way to communicate anymore. An example of that may be, if you send I know for me, if you send me a traditional email, it may sit there for a while. But if you send me a message through format, say like LinkedIn, that's a rarer way to communicate, so it kind of slides up the urgency scale. And that's what I think the city could bring to our congregation. So the way we got to work on this is we did a lot of things, but one thing we did was interview some other churches in the area to find out what are their best practices on building community, building faith, and serving their members. A lot of really good ideas came out of those conversations. Out of one of those conversations, we discovered the city, and had just received wonderful feedback from this particular congregation. So the city is a secure, private social media platform designed specifically for churches. And I should just disclose here, if this ends up working out, we're not going to do away with all the other communications, because we know that this may not be for everybody. But going forward, we think this has a lot of potential for the congregation. So think about LinkedIn if you're familiar with that. Facebook if you know that better. This is very similar to that, with the exception that it's exclusive to church congregations. There are a ton of things you can do. I haven't heard a presentation yet tonight where the city wouldn't be a huge asset to that objective team. You can do something as simple as a prayer request, like you just heard from Bob. You can arrange small group meetings, invite others to join you, put the scripture for the week out, that sort of thing. Sunday service schedule could be communicated through that. So the idea would be to, if at your option, to reduce some of that email flow and communicate a little bit more effectively. Sunday school topics could be put out that way. Ministry and outreach, if you're going to do something on Serve Day, you're involved with Risk, Walk for Water, whatever it is, you could create a subgroup for that ministry, and then you could communicate with all the members of your ministry under that subgroup. Again, reducing email traffic. The session and diaconate could use it to schedule their meetings, exchange agendas, put out minutes, all that kind of good stuff. So why a social media solution? We think that unlike static surveys, the city will allow us as members of the church to communicate and interact in real time. It's much more fluid. We ourselves together create the momentum together for action as a community, not dependent on survey results, which we would probably all agree just tend to get a pretty low response rate anyway. And if you get a low response rate, you don't really have a good barometer, and it's hard to make decisions. So that it'll create continuous flow of energy, ideas, and feedback. It's not analog like some of these other methods that we may be more familiar with. It's certainly an elastic solution that gives us room to grow into. It's built for sort of today's 21st century busy lifestyle, because you can access it on your desktop, your tablet, your smartphone, anywhere you are. And we think it could be really relevant to young families who are looking for a church home. Most people probably would not buy a movie ticket without first seeing the preview for that movie. So maybe think about this as being a preview to the community of First Presbyterian Church. And folks are usually not real comfortable when they're coming to a church for the first time. So if we could get them used to who we are, what we're about, what we do, maybe it'll get them excited before they even enter our doors. Some other benefits that I think that this could bring to the church: it can be branded to our church, so it would be a website. It could have our logo on it. It'd be integrated with our website. I don't want to get too bogged down in those details. From a logistics standpoint, it is compatible with the back office software that we are using now, so that would just create one additional efficiency for the staff. It's monitored by a designated administrator for increased user privacy and protection. And quite frankly, we think it will help strengthen existing relationships and maybe help a lot of us in the room build new ones, which is certainly important. And the only thing I would leave you with, the last thing is, as you walk away from this, imagine in your mind how you think the city could engage our congregation. So thanks to the survey team who helped. Many of them are here tonight, and approach them or myself if you have questions about it afterwards. But again, it's onthecity.org if you want to check out the website. Thanks.